Hello, and welcome to Philip Brown's Computer Networking Lab. You're watching the instructional video called DNS, Stub Zones, and Forwarders. Here we are on DNS 3. This DNS is on a different domain than DNS 1 or DNS 2 from our previous videos. Let's go to the Network and Sharing Center to verify that it has a static IP address. We can see that it has a static IP address of 10.1.1.13, and its DNS pointer is pointing to itself. Now let's take a look at its computer name and its DNS suffix. We can see that the DNS suffix of this computer is asia.philipbrown.local. This DNS server is in a different domain than DNS1 and DNS2 because it has that word Asia in front of it at the beginning of its DNS suffix. Now the first thing we want to do is install DNS on this DNS server. We've already done this in previous videos, so I'll go through it quickly. We'll open up the wizard and click on Next. And we'll choose to install DNS on this local server. Here we'll click Next. And now we'll add the DNS role and the features that come with it. And then click Next. We don't need to add any more features, so we'll click Next. And we do not need to look at the summary, so we'll click Next. We'll put a check mark here, but we already know that DNS doesn't require a restart. And we'll click on the Install button. This will take a short while, so I'll pause the video and continue it once it's finished. Now that we installed DNS on this server, let's configure it. I'll go to the Administrative Tools and open up the DNS Manager. The first thing we're going to do is set up the forward lookup zone and the reverse lookup zone. For the forward lookup zone, I will open up the new zone wizard. I'll put in the name of our new zone, asia.philipbrown.local. I want this to be a dynamic zone, so I'll choose secure and non-secure updates. Okay, our forward zone is set up, including the record entry for DNS 3. Now let's set up the reverse lookup zone. This reverse lookup will also be a primary zone. And I want it for IP version 4. This will be authoritative for the 10.1.1 IP address space. And I also want to allow this to accept dynamic updates. As you can see, the pointer record has not been created yet. I'll go back to the forward lookup zone and have it create the pointer record. I could do it manually from the reverse lookup zone if I wanted to. Okay, now let's configure our forwarders so it points to DNS1 when it's outside of the range of asia.philipbrown.local. Okay, it's validated that DNS1 is the name server. Now we have to configure DNS1. Okay, now we're back on DNS1. We want to create a stub zone pointing to DNS3. Let's open up our DNS manager and go to our forward lookup zone. This time we're going to choose the stub zone and give it the DNS3 zone name, asia.philipbrown.local. And now we have to point to the server for the DNS3. A green check mark. Okay, let's finish. Now let's set up the reverse lookup zone. This one we're also going to make it a stub zone. And the network will be on 10.1.1. Okay, let's point this to the DNS3 server. Okay, everything looks fine. Let's check our setup to verify that the DNS server can resolve the IP addresses from both philipbrown.local and asia.philipbrown.local. Now let's go back to DNS3 and verify that it's also able to resolve the IP addresses for philipbrown.local and asia.philipbrown.local. We have just looked at how we can use stub zones and forwarders to help maintain our DNS infrastructure. I hope this video has been informative, and I thank you for viewing.